And welcome to the Arctic tundra of the North. Weather and Ag in focus here on this Tuesday, November 25th. It looks like January 25th outside, but we knew it was only a matter of time before we saw our first snow of the season. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director Bridgette Readel. And Bridgette, boy, what a difference, depending where you're at in the FM area. Parts of the Northern Valley, Grand Forks, not seeing anything at all. While you head along and south of the 94 corridor, it looks more like the dead of winter out there. It's a big, widespread of conditions throughout much of the area. In fact, you're not seeing a whole lot where you're at either. A little bit, but not too bad.
Not necessarily a surprise. Certainly a lot of wind. And as you look at the statewide road report, you're going to see that northeast corner of the state, as you mentioned, still good road conditions. But from the northwest corner of the state through Williston, Bismarck, Jamestown, down here to Valley City, West Fargo, we see scattered ice, some solid ice on those roads. Southeast part of the state, a lot of snow-covered roadways. But overall, the wind is what's kicking it around. I don't think anybody got the 9 inches of expected snowfall, although I have reports from southern Alberta where some of this originated. They were getting about 6 inches of snow at the start of it.
Oh, there will be areas that get the 9. Areas of the far southern valley. Sisseton just got put under a blizzard warning. So if you have any travel plans going south on 29, travel is not recommended once you get south of let's just say south of Wahpeton. In fact, one of our listeners, John, will be calling in here within the next 5 minutes. He's got a road report. He's down in the far southeastern corner of the state. I believe he's just around the Wahpeton area. He'll be calling in with a road report here shortly, just to kind of explain how bad the roadways are down to the south of the FM area. And snowfall wise, we're going to pick up about 2 to 4 here in the FM area. But before this is all said and done, there's going to be areas from Lisbon through Wahpeton, Sisseton area through Fergus that do pick up that 6 to 9 inches of snow. And you factor in 30 to 45 mile an hour winds. That's one of the reasons they have just issued that blizzard warning in the Sisseton area, because they've got winds already gusting up to 50. Now, they haven't even realized their heaviest snow yet. That is going to be occurring here within the next few hours, and deteriorating conditions very quickly to the south of the 94 corridor. We're going to see an uptick here in the snowfall around the FM area here within the next hour. There's a couple of bands rotating in from the south where the heavier snow has been down around the Abercrombie area. That's trying to rotate northward around this area of low pressure. So even in the FM area, we're going to see conditions go downhill here between about 1:30 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. So please be extra careful on your commute home. The interstate system, looking outside our studios right now, looks like a little slushy, but that is going to, again, go downhill here by 4 o'clock. So please be extra careful. Now, in regards to what does the rest of the holiday weekend look like, or holiday week, a lot of travel going on, and today's going to be the worst day. If you have any travel plans going south or east, let's say towards the cities, I would hold off on that until we get to tomorrow, as conditions will improve. But again, over the next few hours, we'll see those conditions continue to go downhill here in the FM area and points southward. North of the 94 corridor, conditions not nearly as bad. Temperatures will remain in the 20s this afternoon, with north winds 25 to 35 and gusting over 40 at times. Snow will end around 8 o'clock tonight. It will last a little longer in the Lakes country, with lows dipping down to about 20. Still some blowing snow overnight, with northwest winds 15 to 25. And then as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll quiet things down finally. A little breezy on Wednesday, but not all that bad, with temperatures in the 20s and quiet weather. So good for Thanksgiving travel, both Wednesday and Thursday. Now on Friday, we'll see another storm system that will approach the area from the north and west, giving some light snow to the central and western part of the state. I think we'll see a little bit here in the FM area, but not much Friday into Friday night, with temperatures in the 20s over the weekend. And we do have John on line one. John, tell us what you're seeing and where you're at.
Fun times.
Oh,
I'm down in Wahpeton.
All right. What are the road conditions?
Fair to garbage.
That narrows it down. Thanks, John.
Yeah, well, going east-west, it took me almost 40 minutes to get from 29, the junction at 29 and 13 over to Wahpeton because I'm running a little bit late in my truck. And if you're a high-profile vehicle, the wind is so vicious now, it was literally, I could read the lettering on my trailer down the right-hand side, plain as day, several times.
And,
Wow.
and for those who don't know, that's only an 11-mile stretch.
25 miles an hour. Yeah, and I was only doing 20 to 25. So there's probably about 4 on the ground down here. Visibility right now, maybe a block.
Wow. Yeah, they just issued just south of you, John. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that blizzard warning north into the Wahpeton area. But right now, just south of you, John, they do have blizzard warnings that were just issued for the Sisseton area where travel is not advised. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if the National Weather Service extends that just a county north there into the far southeastern part of the state. Especially like you said, if visibility is about a block, you're basically with blizzard conditions.
And I'm going to tell you, if you're driving these newer vehicles that have the LED headlights, you need to get out and check them periodically and clean them off because they do not melt off like the old ones did. So all of a sudden you think your headlights are on and we still can't see you.
Wow. Yeah, good advice. Good advice.
Yeah, it's one of those wet, sticky snows. So it's sticking to stuff. And even though the plow is out, I'm still fighting for traction with what I've got in the trailer. And I picked up some weight here, but I'm seriously contemplating 75 straight north just to maybe get out of here.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I would do the same thing, John. I'm like you. I'm going to try to stay out of all of the heavy traffic areas if I can.
Well, that and trying to avoid the east-west stretches as much as you humanly can, because I'll tell you, like I said, if you got a high profile, it's not a joyous occasion.
Yeah. Good.
No, it's not.
Good advice, John. Yeah, those east-west, with that north wind gusting, like I said, down to the south of the 94 corridor, those winds are gusting close to 50. So, like John.
Yeah, and that would sound about right.
Yeah.
When that trailer's going sideways, because a 30, you can see it tracking a little bit. But but like I said, when those gusts were hitting, no, she was headed on her own.
Jeez. John, be careful. All right.
All right. You need to call me back, buddy.
All right, you got it. Hey, thanks for the report, John. Appreciate it. And that gives a good idea of anybody that is contemplating on driving south into the far southeastern corner. It's of the state. It's not good. Obviously, it's a good day if you can to stay at home and wait for this storm to pass. Because if you do venture out on this, please make sure you have a winter weather survival kit packed. You're going to need it once you get outside of town for sure.
Absolutely. John was kind enough to call us on the JLA Insurance phone line. That is our direct line to the show today. You can reach us here at 701-293-9000. We appreciate your calls. And any other areas that want to call us with updates for the road conditions would be greatly appreciated. If you have the opportunity and you're tucked in at home, maybe you're staying home because roads aren't good, kids are home from school, whatever the case might be, you can watch us on Acres TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are all at Weather and Ag in Focus for WDAY, and it's brought to you by Lighthouse Commodities. And additionally, Dean and I will be paying very close attention to our email inboxes. Those are powered by Superior Grain Equipment, as you can protect your farm's future with Superior Grain Storage, Drying, and Handling Solutions. Learn more at superiourbins.com. But our email addresses are weather@flagfamily.com or ag@flagfamily.com. And we are happy to have you join us with any comments, questions. This morning I had a story with our morning shows talking about a grant for hydroponic science curriculum. In fact, a whole hydroponic setup for your K through 12 school that's available through the North Dakota Department of Ag. And I've already had people reach out asking for the link in order to connect to that grant application and maybe bring some science, technology, and agriculture into their schools. And we are very glad to be a part of all of those things whenever we can.
And Bridgette, we just got, this just came down here, no trial, and no surprise with what John just reported, but ransom
Yeah.
Sargent, and Richland County just went under no travel advised in those 3 counties in the far southeastern part of the state. This goes along well with what John was saying. And again, like I said, the National Weather Service, as of last check, has not issued a blizzard warning for those 3 counties, but don't be surprised if Richland, Sargent, and Ransom County go under a blizzard warning here within the next hour, as no travel is advised down to the south. We have Todd on line 1. Todd, what's going on?
Just one simple question for you. I'm too impatient to wait for December 5th.
Yeah.
So when is this going to cycle back? Is it going to be 60 days? So are we looking about January 25th?
John, we will let you know on December 5th. Got to keep you hanging, Todd. Sorry, man.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, all right.
Sorry, buddy. And we've got a caller on line 2. Caller, what's your name?
Tom.
Tom, what's going on?
Yeah, so just real quick, I came through on 25th Street. Now, that might be repaired, but the lights are out at 20th Avenue and the freeway entrance off of I-94 on the 25th. It's all a large four-way stops at both of them.
Oh, boy. All right, Tom. Hey, thank you for the report. We appreciate it. Yep. Drive safe out there. And again, yeah, the conditions are going to go downhill pretty quick here over the next few hours. And again, travel not advised going south of the 94 corridor. Sargent, Ransom, and Richland County all under a no travel advised area right now. So, and blizzard warnings in effect just south of there into the Sisseton area. Don't be surprised, like I said, if the blizzard warnings get extended northward into the far southeastern corner of the state, as conditions are rapidly going downhill there.
Well, folks, continue to take advantage of the JLA Insurance phone line to get in touch with us, 701-293-9000. All of these weather updates are brought to you by Progressive Ag Risk Management Specialists. And after the livestock market with American Ag Network, we will return with our first guest. We're going to have on the auction block with Steffes Group. We'll be joined by Brad Olstad, and we will keep you up to date on weather as it happens. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for On the Auction Block with Brad Olstad today. He is with the Steffes Group, and Brad is traveling. I understand you are in northwestern North Dakota. First things first, Brad, what does it look like out there versus what we have going on over here in the Red River Valley?
Well, yours truly had the privilege of spending the night in Williston, North Dakota last night. We're doing a large project out at our facility in Williston. So we had heavy, wet snow, strong winds. The roads were compacted. I'm driving on Highway 2 heading back to Fargo. And right now we have intermittent snow and ice, but no snow. So actually it's going pretty good. But Williston was very dicey.
Ooh, that sounds excellent. That it's like you said, it's dicey, but they don't have as much snow, and the chances for all of that to improve are high. And I like where that's going after all of this. So thank you, Brad. Much appreciated. So, out in Western North Dakota, you've been doing a project in Williston. What are some of the things that are catching your eye out there? Have you been setting up for an auction? Have you seen some items that really stand out to you and want to highlight for those who might be in the shopping market?
Well, I tell you, there's an excellent opportunity from now until the year end to purchase large late model equipment. We have a number of dealer projects. We have a few farm retirements that we have on the books. And if anybody is thinking about doing an equipment purchase, in my 47 years of being in the auction business, this is probably the best buying opportunity. Prices are going to be very fair to all parties concerned, whether it's a high-end, high-horsepower track tractor or a mid-range or a legacy piece of equipment. We have something for every farm operation, every ranch operation, and I'm just encouraging, if you have the resources and money in your bucket to be purchasing equipment, this is going to be your best opportunity in a very, very long time.
You know, last night I had the opportunity to host a Twitter space live and had some discussion in regards to current equipment, auctions, etc. Some of the questions that I had, Brad, I thought would be very helpful for us to talk about here. Speed discs, and a question was a minimum horsepower for a speed disc. Do you have a particular tractor that you could think of that you've seen lately up for auction that would be ideal? Because we know we want to be able to pull it about an 8 mile an hour or so, probably a 40-foot of speed disc. Any tractors that stood out recently that you've seen coming up for sale that would be ideal for that?
Well, there's a multiple of tractors that would fit in that 40-foot high-speed disc category. A good rule of thumb is, you need at least 450 horsepower, whether it be a track tractor like a quad track 620, 600, whether it be a 9RX 590, 540, or a 640. Those would all fit the bill. Your Challenger, your Fence, your higher horsepower would work. And speed is your friend when it comes to that type of method of tillage. And there's a lot of opportunities out there. And boy, you can cover the ground well. You're doing 8.5, 9 miles an hour, 40 feet. You're about 46 to 48 acres an hour. That's getting some ground covered.
You know what, Brad? I ask you these questions because you know you have the years of experience in equipment. You run equipment on your own farm. You are a reliable source, and I want people to see that and how you stand out in what you do for Steffes Group for auction. So that was an excellent answer to that question. Thank you. One more that I got. As an auctioneer, what's something that you think can go really high or really low? It's one of those items that you just never can tell where it's going to land. Does something in particular come to mind for that?
Well, that's a great question, and I get asked that a lot. And right now, I think the most concerning piece of equipment out there right now would be after the season, a high-class combine, whether it be your Class 9 machine that's got 800 hours to 1,000 hours. The perception in the marketplace, that's over $1 million combine. The perception in the marketplace is that it's wore out when you talk about the volume of bushels that have been through that. And the price range on those combines have been all over the board. And that's concerning to me. And everybody values the cost of repair and they're very expensive to repair, but they have to weigh the cost versus the efficiency and covering the ground. So those are some of the things that I get asked a lot. A low-hour combine, of course, they're going to price it to new and compare it to how many hours are on it. But that higher-houred, high-test combine is really getting discounted right now.
Oh man, I think you're exactly right. I'm hearing much the same. Brad, safe travels to you as you drive back towards the Red River Valley today. Thank you so much for joining us. If folks want to pay attention to what's coming up on sales for Steffes Group, how could they do that?
Well, I think the best thing that your listeners can do is to just go to our website, and that's steffesgroup.com. And we have all of our auctions, our photos, everything that's up there and loaded. Like I said, we have 6 dealership projects that we're going to be working from now until the 3rd week of December. I just booked another project this afternoon as I'm driving across the great state of North Dakota. And I'm just going to tell your listeners, there's a wonderful opportunity out there. We want to stay positive and check out our website, steffesgroup.com.
Also, your 2025 winter catalog is now available for those who want to take a look at it and peruse that. Not only can you find excellent equipment at Steffes Group, but if you're looking for land, there are hay auctions. There's so much more. Don't overlook that discussion with Steffes Group. And by all means, if you're looking for an expert in the equipment business, that would be Brad Olstad. So, Brad, drive safe. Thank you very much. And after the news, we're going to return with our cybersecurity superhero, Chris Sherman of Tech Support Farm. And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. It is our time for our cybersecurity superhero. We are joined by Chris Sherman of Tech Support Farm. Oh, Chris, here we are coming up
How are we
towards
doing
the
today?
last 30 days. Well, it's the last 30 days of the year. I don't know. Do you get more nervous about potential scams and malware and ransomware, or have they already put it all on my computer so I don't even have to think about it right now?
Malware and ransomware are probably already on your computer, and you don't even have to think about it. I say that facetiously, but malware and ransomware typically sit on a computer for like 30 to 90 days. So they if they're there, they've been there for a little bit. No, the big one that I'm worried about right now is emails and phishing scams, for sure.
Any particular phishing scam?
I would say payment links right now is definitely emails that have, that request automatic payment, whether it's for invoicing or somebody, any sort of, purchase. That's going to be a big one right now.
And Chris, got an email question from one of our listeners. Actually, it's a friend of mine. He said that.
Did you pay him to send it in?
I did, but not much.
Okay. I mean, we got to do what we got to do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ratings.
Wait, was it a spoofing scam with a fake link? That's what I want to know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Was it really your friend?
Yeah, right. Well, he wanted to know. He said he got a message and he deleted it. But that he got a message from Facebook saying there was two unauthorized login attempts on your account. Was it right to delete it, or should he have contacted Facebook? Because can they get in? Can they get in behind the scenes and get some of his info out of that? That's what he was curious about.
Okay, so this is a great example of what we're talking about. What I would say in this scenario, if there was two unauthorized login attempts, number one, there's a couple things. First off, we talk about passwords till we're blue in the face, right? Mm-hmm. But there's MFA and 2FA, okay? And if you set those up, so that if you try to log into Facebook, it's going to ask you for a code, and you have to go to your phone or your device and provide that 6-digit code, or maybe it's an email that you send to yourself and you get the link. However it's set up, have that secondary form of authentication already pre-established. Because then you will automatically see those things come up. A great example is iCloud. We had one last week where we kept getting iCloud, the little 6-digit code, and somebody was trying to get into our account, and clearly they failed. But what I would say is that in that scenario, you're not entirely sure whether you're talking to Facebook or not. Right?
Yeah.
If it came as a Facebook message, I would say that 9 times out of 10, it is not Facebook. Facebook will actually contact you, and it will notify you under the notification sections, not under the messages. Does that kind of make sense?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So the one thing that I would say is, in answer to your friend, what I would do is change your password and log out of all of your devices. Go to your privacy and security settings and look up to see what devices Facebook is logged in on, and then I would log all of those out and re-log in with a new password. I think that's the best way to go.
Okay, good deal.
This is the time of the year we've had a recent announcement from USDA that stage 2 or phase 2 payments are going to be made to farmers very soon. They're having to go to FSA, do their paperwork in person, etc. But those payments are likely electronic payments, not just checks.
Correct.
And if, in fact, that is the case, what are some lookouts there that we should think about? The fact that you're probably not going to get a request for banking information via your email from FSA, because I happen to know on the checklist for this program, you have to sign an authorization at the office. So don't be fooled sort of situation.
Yep. I would say that, from the FSA's standpoint or the USDA's standpoint, they're going to be more concerned about making sure that the payments are being sent out accurately to the right accounts, right? And again, we need to be mindful of the fact that there are those individuals who, will try to spoof you and your information, but really that kind of fraudulent activity is not very high. The big one that farmers are going to be looking out for, or need to be looking out for, is those entities that promise goods and services that you could spend that money on, right? Those types of things would be, let's say you bought equipment and you get some mill writing company out of Illinois that says they can come up and they can knock it out for way less than anybody else in your area. Be careful of that, especially when they're like, we want 50% down. If you get the ones that, are suddenly sending you invoices from, vendors that you work with, but at the same time, you're not entirely sure that you actually spent that money or you got those goods and services, double check. Don't be afraid to call up your vendor and just be like, hey, I just want to confirm that this was the invoice and it came from you. Double check where these emails are coming from. Don't just go randomly clicking on links.
And we just finished talking about equipment with Steffes Group with our On the Auction Block segment. And one thing to remember is, because you saw this great deal on Facebook Marketplace and you think you're buying a loader tractor or a skid steer, a bobcat, you better check if it's real. And don't be just sending off wire transfers, right? And
correct.
Test that legitimacy is okay. So those are probably some areas to think about. How do you know if a charity is fake, by the way? It's time for end of year donations.
Okay, so charities and philanthropy, I guess what I would say is, number one, do your research. If you get an entity that calls you about, sending out some money or giving a donation, obviously we don't want to be stingy, but at the same time, we also need to do our due diligence. Look up the charity online and see what sort of digital footprint they have. If you type in their name and quotations and then ratings or reviews, there's plenty of websites out there that will attest to the legitimacy or illegitimacy of any sort of charity or philanthropic organization.
On our list of topics for today, you have something called check washing, and I don't think that's your wallet in the washing machine. So any suggestions what that is and what we should not be doing?
Yes. Okay. So let's also go back to the charity and philanthropy side too. One thing to be very careful of is if somebody calls you and says that they represent an organization that we all know is legitimate. I would also verify their name, their contact information, and call them back if you felt so inclined, or make a donation online to that website, right? Don't just give your information over the phone. Don't give, credit cards and that sort of thing over the phone, because you're not entirely sure who you're actually talking to. So just to kind of circle back on that. Check washing is really a fascinating concept. Essentially, it's people that intercept checks in the mail, and then what they'll do is they'll change the pay to person on the actual physical check itself and route that money to them. So let's say you got check 3891 that goes out for $82,000 to your vendor XYZ, and they change it to Bob Johnson and deposit it into their account. That is check washing. And so essentially it's taking checks and removing the sender and changing it to a different destination.
Ooh. And at this point, especially if we are getting closer and closer into tax season, right after the first of the year, where you may be getting physical checks mailed back to you, this is a legitimate concern, because those federal checks are easily identifiable.
Yeah. The other thing is that if you have seasonal workers that come up out of different states, and they're here and they get their last check, and usually it might be a big check or whatever, and they call you a day or two later and say, hey, I lost the check, can you mail me the new one? And make sure that before you just go reprinting that check and dropping it in the mail, or giving it to them, you make sure that you cancel the first check prior, and you put a notification with the bank, because we've seen far too many of those transient employees or transient workers that will cash the first check and cash the second check, and they kind of get a double payday. And if you don't catch that within 24 hours as a commercial entity, that is on you, and then you're left holding the bag.
In these instances of scams, malware, ransomware, etc., you've said before there is a limited time offer, you might say, to be able to recoup those dollars. And
Correct.
Because of that, it's one of the reasons to work with you at Tech Support Farm. And can you just run through those highlights again, the hours of what time you
Yeah.
have to get it back and what you can do to
So
prevent that problem.
the military term is right of boom. It's the minutes and seconds, or the seconds and minutes after an explosion or a catastrophic event, that the actions that are taken inside of that, very small time frame window, those will dictate really the probability of the outcome, coming to a good end. And when we're talking about like a cyber attack or something like that, especially when it comes to money, making sure that you contact the right authorities, making sure that you contact the institution, and trying to recoup those funds and take care of that appropriately and reporting it is really going to impact how that's actually going to turn out in the end. Because if it's anything after 24 to 36 hours, that money's out of the country. It's gone. You'll never see it again. The other problem too is being really mindful of when this is happening, it might stretch out over days, right? We've seen instances where we've had a client who was talking to somebody. They said they needed an invoice paid. They paid the invoice, but then the person came back and said you didn't. And they were talking to them not only on email, but now they were texting them and they were getting threatening. And so they sent out yet another payment. Those types of situations, everybody needs to remember to take a step back. If there's a sense of urgency behind it or telling you that it needs to happen now, that's when you need to talk to somebody else and get their take on it. Because again, if you get tied up in this, sometimes it's hard to see the forest for the trees. But when it comes to timing, if you realize that something's amiss, you need to deal with it now, not tomorrow, not to next week. You need to take care of it today.
Waiting is never the answer. It's similar to
No.
my dad always said, flat tires don't fix themselves. Same situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
Chris, how can people reach you? And please highlight the fence check assessment for them. We need to get those things done.
Okay. So the fence check assessment is really cool, and it's geared towards farms and agribusinesses. Essentially, go on to our website at techsupport.farm. You answer some questions about your operation, maybe the side business that you have, whether you sell insurance or seed or something like that. And then it goes through, it asks you some tech questions, and it will give you some practical next steps of what you can do to beef up your security, how you can improve your security posture. And then at the same time, it will tell you what commercial products you could benefit from. And it's a great tool. We do not use it as a sales tool. We don't come calling and bugging you. If you want to set up a meeting and ask more questions, we're more than happy to do that. But otherwise, you can give us a call at 701-446-8518.
Thank you so much, Chris. Greatly appreciate your expertise today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Chris. And when we come back, we'll have an update on road conditions. We'll have an update on the forecast as well. And if we have time, we'll hit a couple of ag topics. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus on this snowy Tuesday afternoon, and an update here on radar and what we've got coming here for the next couple of hours. We got banding of the snow now that's pushing into the Fargo-Moorhead area from the south, and that means we're going to see an uptick in the snow over the next couple of hours between now and 4 o'clock as the banding of the snow continues to encompass areas from Castleton through Fargo, Horace, down towards Pelican Rapids, all this moving east and north over the next couple of hours. So we'll notice deteriorating conditions in the Fargo, Moorhead, and points southward over the next couple of hours. So please be careful. And road condition reports that are coming in here now. No travel advised in Lemoore, Dickey, Ransom, Sargent, and Richland County. So just to the south of Cass County, travel not recommended. Blizzard warnings just to the south of there into areas around Sisseton. So please, I'd hold off on travel if you're heading south of town. At least now through about 8 o'clock. Conditions will improve as we get a little closer to 8 o'clock. And we've got Jason on line one. You've got a road report, Jason. What's going on? Where you at?
Hey, Dean. How are you doing today?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Sorry, I had to get it off the old microphone. I'm coming back from Grand Forks and about Hillsboro. The roads got really, really icy, and I don't know how I missed the one car stalled on the right side and then the one that just appeared on the left side when the semi moved to the middle. We kind of somehow maneuvered through it, and then about 5 miles later, there's a 5-car pileup with a semi included. But yeah, I was probably the most scared. I honestly, I told Addison, I said, if I didn't know how to drive sprint cars, I don't know if I would have not missed that wreck because it was a gas and a brake kind of thing, and then the semi in front of me. I mean, the car in the left lane just appeared because he had just spun out apparently, and the semi truck was in the left lane, and he moved over, and there was a car already stalled on the right side. So it created quite a spook. I told Addison, I was like, this is going to hurt, and made it through it, and then a couple miles down the road, it's the big pileup, and you can just see the glare ice on both sides of the interstate going north and south from Hillsboro, and traffic's doing about 25 miles an hour now.
Wow. Well, Jason, thanks for the report, and stay safe out there. No, I mean, that's an understatement.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an understatement.
I can't wait to get back home.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, it's not going to get any better south of Hillsboro. So take your time, be safe. And like Jason said, sheet of ice out there south of Grand Forks, and the closer you get to Fargo, the worse the conditions are going to get. And you go south of Fargo, that's where travel is not recommended. So not a good day to be out on the roads if you don't have to. And on your commute home this evening, please be ultra careful because conditions, like I said, are going to deteriorate between now and 4 o'clock, and that will more than likely extend into the evening rush hour as well, Bridgette.
Statewide road report, which Addison's going to put on live stream for us, shows that we are solid ice, especially in the east central part of North Dakota. Highway 2 at from Devil's Lake to the west, shy of Minot, looks like it's still wet, that they haven't had the freezing conditions perhaps yet, but it's likely going to happen. So as you look at statewide road report, again, we're going to see a lot of ice through the majority of the state, particularly on a trajectory from Williston down towards Fargo. As Dean mentioned earlier, Richland, Sargent, Ransom, Dickey, and Lemoore counties are all now no travel advised, and that's extending into South Dakota. Please take care on the roadways. Your auto body man said so, although he might like it.
Yeah, right. So a no travel advised just issued now for Cass County, just issued right now. So please, if you don't have to travel, good day to just stay inside. So that'll do it for Weather and Ag in Focus. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next.